Hello there and welcome to the Star Wars Showcase YouTube channel, where this time around we're going to be taking a look at how to build out custom Remnant Stormtroopers. Now, if you recall, Remnant Stormtroopers first made their appearance in Season 1 of The Mandalorian and are those kind of grungy, dirty-looking Stormtroopers who are meant to be, the last holdouts, the last guys who have stuck around with the Empire nearly 4 or 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Now, for the troopers that we see in the show, they've kind of got this dirty, dingy, yellowed armor. But to be honest, you could mistake these guys for sand troopers if you weren't looking close enough. And while Hasbro did make a Black Series as well as Vintage Collection version of these figures a couple of years back, the remnants that I wanted to talk about today are actually going to be based off some of the concept art from the first season of The Mandalorian. And as you can see here, these troopers have a lot more design to them. They've got mismatched pieces of armor, they've got pieces of equipment that's missing, they've got, non-standard issue weapons. To be honest, these are the troopers that I wish we saw in the show. And in terms of customizing figures like this, I think you've got some great design formats that exist in the concept art that you can follow, but you can also kind of kit bash and kind of hobnob your own pieces together that very much fit into this aesthetic. So I personally went with the second of these troopers, the one with the poncho, the bandolier, and the RT-97 heavy blaster. The blaster is actually a 3D print from Anthanatos Arsenal, who's a fantastic Etsy seller. Definitely recommend looking them up, as a lot of their blasters scale really well with Black Series figures. The bandolier comes from Gridiron Studios, and then the poncho itself is actually from the Tusken Boba Fett. So all of that together makes it a really easy kind of grungy trooper to put together. And then in terms of detailing things up, this is actually kind of fun, as you can kind of play with it as much as you'd like to. I've got a series of different black scuffs. I've got some paint speckling that I did with a makeup sponge, as well as some weathering done with different wash layers, some different browns, as well as your standard Nuln oil. All together, when you kind of mix a couple of layers of those, really gives you kind of that dirty trench look. You can also use one of these Tamiya Weathering Master Kits. I recommend the one that I pulled up on screen there, as it gives you those nice kind of dirty, muddy kind of looks that are perfect for these Remnant troopers. So I used all three of those different techniques, the wash coats, the Tamiya dry weathering, and then kind of the makeup brush kind of scuffing and speckling. And all of that together kind of creates this nice layered look to create this kind of dirty, muddy Stormtrooper. So these Remnant Stormtroopers are definitely ones that I'd want to build out more of, as this was just kind of a first trial run for me, using some of those different weathering techniques, as well as just honestly some spare parts I had lying around. But I definitely recommend checking out that different concept art, looking at some of the different inspiration there, and then using some of the kit bash pieces that you've got available to see if you can't build out a couple of these Remnant troopers of your own. So within the comments, let me know what you guys are thinking of this. If you've got ideas for different designs, maybe ways to incorporate, Imperial officers within this kind of aesthetic. I'm definitely interested in seeing what everyone in the community is out there making, and would love to hear if you have suggestions of your own.